Hello, I Dr. Vijay Chandra Jadala welcomes you to VC Tech Education. Today I am going to discuss regarding files. We are going to discuss related to the basic input output operations, handling files and operations on files, modes of files, Python file methods. Now let's start the session with the basic input output operations. Python can be used to read and write data, and it supports reading and writing data into the files. The print statement. Print statement is used to print or display the output on the screen. Print statement is used to take strings as input and place that string to the standard output. Whatever you may want to display on output, place that particular expression inside the inverted commas. The expression whose value is to be printed, place it without inverted commas. So here print statement is used to print it or display the data on screen. So here in double quotes, if you are giving the particular expression will be displayed. If you don't want to print the particular expression, if you want to get the value, you no need to give the double quotes. If you don't give the double quotes, the value will be printed, not the particular expression. So the basic input output operations, among them we are discussing regarding the print statement. Next comes to the input from keyboard. If you have to give the value input through keyboard, a function is used known as input. Python offers two inbuilt functions for taking input from user, that is input function is used to take input from the user whatsoever the expression the user may have. It is evaluated and result will be back. The one is the input and another is the raw input. So two built-in functions are used to take the input from keyboard. The first one is the input. So syntax is input, opening bracket, parenthesis, double quotes, expression, closing parenthesis, double quotes closed and parenthesis closed. Example, n equal to input, enter your expression. If you give the expression it as 10, then next statement print the evaluated expression is double quotes close comma n, then that particular n value will be 10 will be printed. The evaluated expression is 10. So this is all about the input from keyboard. That is, Python offers two inbuilt functions for taking input from the user. Next, raw underscore input. Raw underscore input function is used to take input from the user. It takes the input from the standard input in the form of a string and reads the data from a line of at once. Raw underscore input in double quotes statement. Example, n equal to raw underscore input, enter your name, print welcome comma n. Note, raw underscore input function returns a string. Hence, in case an expression is to be evaluated, then it has to be typecasted to the following data type. That means it should be identify the data type and that particular data type can be typecasted. That means this expression will be in the particular data type. That means prn int. Int is the typecasting the data type. Which type of data type it is? It is an integer data type. Prn equal to int opening braces raw underscore input enter principal, or equal to int opening bracket or raw underscore input enter rate. T equal to int opening bracket raw underscore input enter time. Si equal to prn asterisk or asterisk t slash 100. That means simple interest equal to prn principal into rate into time by 100. So print simple interest si, it will be printed. So this is about the input statement, input function as well as raw input function. Next, a program of example is given, a program to enter the details of a user and print them. Name equal to raw underscore input, enter your name. Math equal to float of raw underscore input, in double quotes enter your marks in math. Physics equal to float raw underscore input, in double quotes enter your marks in physics. Chemistry equal to float raw underscore input, enter your marks in chemistry. Roll number equal to int of raw underscore input, in double quotes enter your roll number. Print welcome comma name, your roll number is comma roll number. Marks in math is math, marks in physics is physics, maths. Marks in chemistry is chemistry. Average marks math plus physics plus chemistry by 3. So here input values, that is mathematics, physics, chemistry, 3 values can be added and divided by 3, that is nothing but the average. So here the value, name value will be entered as well as the math, that is float, physics, chemistry. The values will be stored here as well as the total average will be displayed. But this displaying and storing is temporary. It will, when you re-execute it, the values will change. So to avoid this, the file concept is designed. File concept, we can permanently store these data as a one record in a file. Next, handling files and operations. Python provides the facility of working on files. File is a named location on disk to store related information. It is used to permanently store data in a non-volatile memory, that is hard disk. Since random access memory is volatile, which loses its data when computer is turned off, we use files for future use of the data. So for future use of the data, the files will be handled. When we want to read from or write a file, we need to open it first. So when you want to read it or to write it, you have to open it first. When we are done, it needs to be closed. Once it's completed, we are going to be closed, so that the resources that are tied with the file are freed. A file is an external storage on hard disk from where data can be stored and retrieved. So data can be stored as well as retrieved using a file. A file is a chunk of logically related data or information which can be used by computer programs. So here you can store the data, that means the input, or process data, that is the information. Data is nothing but the raw facts and figures, and information is the processed data which can be used by the computer programs. So Python provides some basic functions of the to manipulate these particular files. Next comes to operations on files. Opening a file. Before working with files, you have to open a particular file. To open a file, Python built-in function open is used. It returns an object of file which is used with other function. So it will return the object but that is used with the other function. Having opened the file, you can perform read-write operations on the file. The operations which we can use is write, we can read. Okay. So f equal to open python.text w, that is one way of expression, that is open the file in the current directory. If it is in the current directory, you can give like that. If not, if the directory is in somewhere and you want to store that particular text file hello.txt in that particular directory, you have to give total path f equal to open in double quote /home /rgukt /desktop /python /hello.txt. This total will be stored in the f file, that is specifying the full path. Use it to open or create a file. That is syntax. File object equal to open file underscore name comma access underscore mode comma buffering. Here file underscore name, it is the name of the file which you want to access. Access mode, it specifies the mode in which the file is to be opened. There are many types of mode like read, write, append. Mode depends the operations to be performed on file. Default access mode is read mode. Then comes to the buffering. If the buffering value is set to 0, no buffering takes place. If the buffering value is 1, the line buffering is performed while accessing a particular file. This is all about the file concept. Next comes to the different modes of files, that is writing mode, reading mode and append mode. In three ways we can do, use the file. When you want to write something into the file, you have to use the write mode. If you want to read something into the file, you have to use read mode. If you want to add some data to the existing file, then you have to use the append mode. So before that, when you open a particular file, you have to select which mode of the file it is. After selection that, then after writing or after reading or after appending the data, then you have to close the file. So close a file. Once you finish the operations on file, at the end you need to close the file. If it is done by close method. Close method is used to close a particular file. File object dot close. Next comes to writing to a file. Write method is used to write strings into a file. Strings can have binary, numeric or text data. Syntax: file object dot write in double quotes string. Next, reading from a file. Read method is used to read data from the file. Parameter count is the number of bytes to be used from the open file. So file object dot read in brackets count. Append mode syntax: file object dot open in double quotes file name comma in double quotes a. So this is about the append. So write mode, it will be indicated by W, read mode will be indicated by R, append mode is indicated by A. Next, an example program is given where we are opening, closing, opening, closing, opening, closing in write mode as well as read mode. So here the program to read and write data from a file. Obj object equal to open in double quotes abcd.text comma w. That means the mode of write is w. Obj.write welcome to the world of Python /n. Yeah, it's great /n. That sentence will be written in the abcd.text. Since we are opening it in a write mode and now we are closing the particular write mode. Then comes to obj1 equal to open abcd.text double quotes close comma in double quotes or. That means we started reading mode. S equal to obj1 dot read. We are reading the abcd.text. That means the read mode will print S. S value will be read and stored in S, and that S value will be printed here. What it will print? It will print welcome to the world of Python. Yeah, it's great. So then obj1 will be closed and again obj2 will be opened abcd.text of or s1 equal to obj2 dot read 20, up to 20 characters only it will read, and that will be stored in the S1 and we are going to print the S1 obj2 dot close. By that we completed this particular program. Then comes to the next example where we use the open and we use the /n and 3 lines we given the code and we close the program. This is 2 programs, you check it in the practical session. Next, append mode. Once open Open for appending at the end of the file without truncating it. Creates a new file if it does not exist. So by using an append mode, the already existing file, we can add the data to the already existing file. If the file is there at the end, we can add the new data by using the append mode. If that particular file is not existed, then it will create the new file on that particular name. So this is about the append. Fopen try.txt in double quotes A. For write mode, double quotes W will be there. In read mode, R will be there. And in append mode, A will be there. F dot write lines hello slash nhi slash n hello how slash n. Then F dot write line is hello slash nhi slash nh n how slash n f close. So this is all about the append mode. Next, close the file. After opening a file, one should always close the opened file. We use a method close for this. We will use this method to close this. Always make sure you explicitly choose even each open file. Once its job is completed, with no reason you keep it open, then there will be an upper limit number of files program can open. If you exceed that particular limit, there is no reliable way to recover, so the program could be crashed. That means once you open the file, it is obviously you have to close the file. If not, after some iterations, the program will collapse. So close file makes a major role in the file handling. So f equal to open in double quotes text.txt, then perform the file operations whatever you want and use the f dot close to close the thing. And there is an exception known as try finally block. There is an exception handling. In next session we are going to listen. If this method is not entirely safe, if an exception occurs when the performing some operations with the file, the code exits without closing the file, it is not safe way. So this is all about the fopen. Next comes to two methods we can use, that is the seek and another is the tell. We can change our current file cursor position using the seek method. So by using the seek method we can change the current cursor position, whereas by using the tell method that particular current position can be shown in the number of bytes. So this is an example program which given. Then this is another example program for opening a file, replacing a word to another word. That means we are reading and as well as writing to a particular file. Next, attributes. And attributes here are name, mode, close. That means first the name of the file, the attributes are returns the name of the file and mode, whether it is a read mode, write mode or append mode. Then closed, it returns if it is closed, it will be a true boolean value 0 or 1. So this is an example which we given for the open and closed program. You can check this particular program in the lab exercise. Next comes to the modes of file, that is read mode, write mode and append mode. There is another mode known as T that open in text mode by default. Since it will do by default, no need to use this particular fourth one. So majorly the different modes used in the file handling are the read mode, write mode and append mode. And the other file can be opened in two different ways, that is text mode and the binary mode. So in combination of read, write, append, T, text and binary, we are going to get the different combinations like this. B, which means that in binary mode, plus open the file updating, read and writing, or B, read mode and for binary mode, R plus read and write mode pointer at the beginning of the file. RB plus read and write in a binary format pointer is at the beginning of the file. WB opens a file in writing mode in binary format. If the file already exists, then overwrite the file, else creates a new file. W plus opens a file for reading and writing. If the file already exists, then overwrite the file, else creates a new file. WB plus opens file for reading and writing in a binary format. If the file already exists, then overwrite the file, else create a new file. AB opens an appending mode in binary format. If the file already exists, then append the data at the end of the file, else create a new file. Then A plus opens a file in reading and appending mode. If the file already exists, then append the data at the end of the file, else create a new file. AB plus opens a file in reading and appending mode in binary format. If the file already exists, then append the data at the end of the file, existing file, else create a new file. This is all about the different modes and its combinations. Then comes to the file methods: close method, detach method, file number, file flush, ISATTY, read and readable. Close an open file. It has no effect if the file is already closed. Detach. Separate the underlying binary buffer from the text IO base and return it. File number returns the integer number file descriptor of the file. File.flush. Flush the write buffer of the file system. ISATTY returns true if the file stream is interactive. Read of n. Return at most n characters from the file. Reads till end of the file if it is negative or none. Readable returns true if the file stream cannot read from. So these are all the different methods which are used in the Python file system. When you are doing, you can use these file methods, then it will be easier for you to understand. Then read line, n equal to -1, read line is then seek, seekable, tell, truncate, writable, writes, write lines. These are all the different methods which we already discussed. A little changes will be there for them. By this, I conclude my session where we discussed regarding the file, how to open a file, how to close a file, how to read, write and append the files, and then comes to the input statements. So by this I conclude my session related to the files. That means basic input output operations, handling files and operations, operations on files, modes of files, Python file methods. Hope you all understood well. Do the practical sessions. By that you will get a clear idea. By this I am ending my session. Thank you very much.